So I am now going to ask you, what are some struggles that you've had when starting your own business? What are some struggles that you basically had with your previous jobs? Like, how did you deal with those struggles and start your own business?
So one of the reasons I started my own job, like I said, it was when I came here and I was faced with a very toxic boss and a toxic environment. And it wasn't the first time that I've dealt with it. So I was like, enough is enough. How I handled that was, starting my own company, right? Starting my own company so that I wouldn't have to deal with toxic behavior and absolutely not replicate it in my own company. Struggles with starting my own business, I think like when you start your own business, you have to start it with solving a problem like you're doing, right? You're bringing your voice out, and not many people know what it is to deal with autism. So for me was to be able to help other people start their own company, right? Realize what skills they have, what makes them happy, and how they can solve a problem with those skills that they have. So, struggles. I guess the struggles are like you start doing one thing and you kind of pivot and change. Like even with what my content that I create on LinkedIn, I see myself going other ways because of what my audience is asking me for, and a lot of people ask me how I went from corporate to entrepreneurship. And also how I've been able to grow my brand or how to create their own brand on LinkedIn. So, things change. I think the most important thing is that you just start and also sorry, just to go back to your question, dealing with struggles. I mean, I feel like everyone needs an ecosystem, a sounding board, right? So as an entrepreneur, because you're an entrepreneur yourself, you need to be surrounded by more entrepreneurs and bounce off ideas, etc. And see how
Yeah,
they dealt with them.
that's right. I definitely relate to that right there. Really relate to everything you said. Like I said before, I also started writing and illustrating books and starting my own podcast because I want to show people what it's really like to live with autism and what struggles I've had through my life. Because if I have to be completely honest, some of the people at my school are a bit serious, especially the students and the teachers. In fact, some of the teachers, especially back in elementary school for me, were really, really tough on me. They were like super serious. I know they're not trying to be mean or anything, but they just want to help children learn, and they don't want to be like extremely mean, not extremely serious. They just want to help children learn. So it is tough sometimes to live with serious teachers, but in the end, you have to understand that they just want to help you learn because education is what you really need in life, and that's what school is all about.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I mean, I think it's important that I'm sure that you go to a school where teachers realize that everybody has a different learning style, right? So that's super important that they're educated in that way.
Do for your company.
So I mean, I do several things. I do business development for my clients. So I help them go after commercial contracts with the Fortune 500 companies and the federal government. I also help some of the companies that they're diverse, women-owned or minorities. I help them get certifications to go after those contracts. I help them with strategy to be aligned, to know to have their brand now to become more visible on LinkedIn. And yes, we create new revenues of income if they don't realize that, a commercial contract could completely change their life. So, and we also want to make sure that they have the capacity to fulfill a commercial contract. So some of the verticals that I work in is construction, products, and also logistics. So it's a variety of things. And then I also have another company which I haven't really posted about on LinkedIn. I am a co-founder of Viva Girl, and we do youth development workshops in schools. So we go into junior high schools and high schools, and we teach. Right now, we're doing girls about. public speaking, financial literacy, entrepreneurship, and for them to learn what gifts they have that they can translate them into careers. And we bring in women that look like them, that are in senior roles or entrepreneurship, so that they could see it's possible. Representation matters.
Wow. That sounds like awesome.
Thank you.
Seriously.
Thank you so much. You're awesome.
Yeah, you're awesome too.
Yeah.
So let's keep this going. And now I'm going to ask you, what are some goals that you have for your company? Like, is there anything you want to accomplish with your company in the future?
Well, I definitely want to help more small businesses. For me, economic power is, economic empowerment is the answer. So I want to help more small, diverse businesses scale and grow. I always say one business at a time to be able to make a difference. I want more small business owners to be visible, diverse voices. So it's all that I believe in and I advocate for. And as far as Viva Girl, we're in New York City, so we want to bring it to all like where all the inner city schools are. So we're probably gonna head to Miami next and Chicago.
Wow, that sounds awesome. I also have a lot of goals.
Yeah, tell
Like,
me about your goals.
yeah, we're looking to find a real publisher for my books because I don't think self-publishing my books is really going to get me out in the world. I think what we really need is a real publishing company to get me out in the world, to get my books really popular because I want to be a very, very popular author. I want to be popular with children and adults and also get lots of merchandise like clothing and toys. And I also want to turn some of my books into movies. And like I said, even get my own balloon in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. That would be extremely awesome.
Those are all beautiful, honey. Let me ask you a question. Have you asked anybody on LinkedIn if they know a publisher, if they can refer you to a publisher? Because there's so many on LinkedIn that might be
Um,
able to pick up your
yeah, I
books and
think
stuff.
we've asked some people about
Okay.
an actual publishing company.
Hmm. Excellent. Yeah, to me, I just want to be able to motivate more people, right? Because a lot of times we're just stuck and it's mostly in our mind. So changing that mindset that you can do it and you will do it, and believing in yourself. Like you have to be your number one cheerleader and get out of that fear mode, right? And just tap into your faith. I can't wait to see your book published and your balloon in the Thanksgiving parade. I'm excited because I'll be like, oh my God, I know Jacob. That's my friend. Super exciting.
I know, right? Well, I definitely want those all to happen someday. And you know why I want them all to happen someday? I know that they are going to happen someday because they will happen
Yeah.
someday. Because I now know to not wish my certain goals, I need to speak them into power and existent. They are
Amen.
going to happen because they will happen.
Absolutely. And you're doing everything to get there. I'm super excited about it. I also plan to publish a book one day, and it is mostly about motivation. Like I share my story. I've gone through a lot of struggles like yourself, right? But it's the getting back up, right? The getting back up and showing up every day. Showing up knowing that you're going to make a difference in someone's life, and you just touch one life at a time, honestly. And I think those are the things that keep us going, right? We don't exist in this world alone. I always talk about like there are so many lonely people out there. We're so connected, yet we're so disconnected. So it's great that you have a community and it's great that you're part of my community. I really value, you and your voice. And, I'd like to commend you and congratulate on everything you're doing. And just know that you can count on me for support.
Thanks. I'm very proud of all that you're doing too. I wish you the best of luck with your companies, and I hope that you'll someday be able to reach all your goals and succeed in life because I'm very glad that I have a special friend like you who is there to support me, just like how you are there to support just like how I'm here to support you, and it's great to have people to support one another.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jacob.
No problem. Anytime.